Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSC English. In our crash course for prelims 2021 Inspire, today we'll learn about next provisions related to municipalities. It's my pleasure to welcome you all on Unacademy, India's largest learning platform, where you will get unlimited access for live and recorded classes, structured courses, weekly tests, and many more features. Those aspirants pursuing their graduation or after their 12th planning to start their preparation for civil services, they can go with our iconic subscription. In this iconic subscription, you will get all the features of our plus courses along with additional features like personal guidance, study planner and material, expert guidelines and test analysis. So definitely it will boost your preparation. It's me, Rishikesh Inamdar, guiding UPSC aspirants from last 8 years. You can follow me on Unacademy and you can join our Telegram group using this link. Friends, we are providing 4-in-1 offer for a limited period, so in which you will get 4 benefits with single subscription of minimum 1 year. So in which you will get printed notes worth rupees 10,000 absolutely free with minimum 1 year subscription. In this 1 year subscription, you will get guaranteed validity till next preliminary examination in mega subscription offer. And now those aspirants are facing financial obstacles or constraint to continue their preparation for civil services. We are providing loan for UPSC subscription and 10% discount using referral code RBI Live. So you can grab this opportunity to get 4-in-1 offer. Yes, friends, today is the last date for mega discount on combo subscription. Yes, you will opt for general studies and optional subject combo subscription. You will get huge discount and this offer is valid till today midnight. Yes, that is 12th May. And those aspirants will go with minimum 2 years of iconic subscription. They will get one-on-one personal mentoring by our top educators. These are the paid subscriptions available on Unacademy platform, where you can use referral code RBI Live to get 10% discount. And also in combo subscription for general studies and optional subject, you can choose 1 year, 2 year or 3 year duration. Here also you can use referral code RBI Live to get 10% discount. Yes friends, we are starting new batches from today onwards, like we have 1 year batch, 2 year batches and NCRT batches. So as per your convenience, you can start your preparation. We are providing free test series for all aspirants where you will cover your general studies and current affairs part. To unlock the test, use code RBI Live and start your evaluation. We are also conducting Unacademy Combat on every Sunday morning 11 AM in Hindi and English medium. So you can enroll yourself using code RBI Live for Unacademy Combat. So we'll start our today's topic, municipalities. So before going to start new provisions and information, just will recap what we have covered in our last 2 sessions of municipalities. So friends, urban local government signifies the governance of an urban area by the people through their elected representatives. So basically, local government is a subject mentioned in the state list under the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Yes friends, there are 8 types of urban local governments. We will see all those in details today itself, like municipal corporation, municipality, notified area committee, town area committee, cantonment board, township port trust and special purpose agency. Yes. Then we have covered the system of urban government was constitutionalized through 74th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. And if we are talking about the urban local government in our country, which the subject is dealt by the following three ministries like Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Ministry of Defense, in the case of cantonment boards, Ministry of Home Affairs, in the case of union territories. We have discussed evolution of urban bodies in detail with historical perspective. So Lord Ripon, called as the father of the local self-government in India, where we have covered pre-independence provisions related to the urban local government institutions. Then we studied committees and commissions to review the functioning of the urban local governments. Yes, we have covered these committees and commissions from 1949 to 1988. Then the process of constitutionalization of urban local government. So how it passed in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992 came into force on 1st June 1993. Then we have studied about 74th Amendment Act of 1992, the features of this act. So there are three types of municipalities in our country: a Nagar Panchayat, a municipal council, and a municipal corporation. Then we covered the composition of municipalities, ward committees, other committees. Then we have discussed in detail reservation of seats for marginalized section in the society like scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and women. Then we have discussed duration of municipalities, disqualification process for the members of municipalities, then state election commission, which is conducting elections to the municipalities in the state, then powers and functions, finances of municipalities, finance commission. Then we have covered audit of accounts, application to union territories, and exempted areas. We have also discussed about district planning committee, their role, then metropolitan planning committee, continuance of existing laws and municipalities after 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, then bar to interference by courts in electoral matters of municipalities we have discussed, then the functional areas under the 12th schedule we have discussed. Now, in today's session, we'll start with the types of urban governments. Yes. So friends, so there are, as we have discussed initially as well in our first session of municipalities, the 8 types of urban local bodies are created in our country. And it's for the administration purpose of urban areas where these local bodies in the form of municipal corporation, municipality, notified area committee, town area committee, cantonment board, township, port trust, and special purpose agency. So these are the 8 types of urban local bodies are created to administrate the urban areas. Now, where we'll start with the first type, that is municipal corporation. Yes, friends, municipal corporations are created for the administration of big cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and others. So, municipal corporations are at big cities. They are established in the states by the acts of the concerned state legislatures, and in the union territories by the acts of the Parliament of India. So there may be one common act for all the municipal corporations in the state, or a separate act for each municipal corporation. So it depends on the particular state legislature how they are establishing an act for the regulation of municipal corporation. So municipal corporation has three authorities, like the council, the standing committee, and third, the commissioner. So there are three authorities, we can say verticals in our language as well, like the council, standing committee, and the commissioner. So the council is deliberative and legislative wing of the corporation. It consists of the councillors directly elected by the people, and as well as few nominated persons having knowledge or experience of municipal administration. So in brief, the composition of the council, which including the reservation of seats for SCs, STs, and women, is governed by the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Then the council is headed by a mayor. He is assisted by a deputy mayor. He is elected in a majority of the states for 1 year renewable term, and mayor is basically an ornamental figure and a formal head of the corporation. His main function is to preside over the meetings of the council. Then the standing committees are created to facilitate the working of the council, which is too large in size. So they deal with public works, education, health, taxation, finance, and so on. They take decision in their fields. And third vertical is the municipal corporation. The municipal commissioner is responsible for the implementation of the decisions taken by the council and its standing committees. Thus, commissioner is the chief executive authority of the corporation. He is appointed by the state government and is generally a member of the Indian Administrative Service. So hope, friends, everyone is aware about the structure of municipal corporation where you are living or nearby municipal corporation. So there are municipal corporation consisting three verticals like the council, the standing committees, and the municipal commissioner. The municipal commissioner is appointed by the state government, and generally municipal commissioner a member of the Indian Administrative Services. After that, municipality. The municipalities are established for the administration of towns and smaller cities. Yes, as we have discussed, big cities like Delhi, Calcutta, Hyderabad, Mumbai, there are municipal corporations. And now the towns or smaller cities, municipalities are there to establish there or to establish for the administration of small cities and towns. So like the corporations, they are also set up in the states by the acts of the concerned state legislatures, and in the union territory by the acts of the Parliament of India. They are also known by various other names like municipal council, municipal committee, municipal board, borough municipality, city municipality, and others. So these are the different names in our country at different places. So basically it's a municipality for towns and smaller cities. So like a municipal corporation, a municipality also has three authorities. Yes, three verticals or authorities like the council, the standing committees, and the chief executive officer. Yes, in municipalities, there are also three authorities like the council, the standing committees, and the chief executive officer. So the council is the deliberative and legislative wing of the municipality. It consists of the councillors directly elected by the people, and the council is headed by a president or chairman. He is assisted by vice president or vice chairman. So the president or chairman presides over the meetings of the council. Unlike the mayor of municipal corporation, so here in the municipality, a president or a chairman plays a significant role and is the pivot of the municipal administration. And apart from presiding over the meetings of the council, he enjoys executive powers, and the standing committees are created to facilitate the working of the council. They deal with the public works, taxation, health, finance departments of the municipality. And then third authority is the chief executive officer or chief municipal officer is responsible for day-to-day general administration of the municipality, and he is appointed by the state government. Now, notified area committee. After the municipal corporation and municipality, the third types of urban bodies is notified area committee. So friends, many of us aware about municipal corporation, municipalities, but now we will understand other forms of urban local bodies. So notified area committee. Many of you have heard first time this committee. Now we'll understand how it works. So notified area committees. Committee is created for the administration of two types of areas, like a fast developing town due to industrialization and a town which does not yet fulfill all the conditions necessary for the constitution of municipality. Notified area committee created for the administration of two types of areas. First, which is the town developing, yes, a fast developing town due to industrialization, and second, which is not yet fulfilled the conditions necessary for the constitution of municipality. So there are various criteria to constitute municipality in area. So those areas not fulfill these criteria or conditions, these are administered by the notified area committee. So, but which otherwise is considered important by the government, and since it established by a notification in the government gazette, it is called notified area committee. Yes, like municipal corporation and municipalities, notified area committee also important, and which is administered by the state government itself, where through the government gazette, these notified area committee established by the a notification in the government gazette So it's called the Notified Area Committee. Though it functions within the frame of State Municipal Act, only those provisions of the Act which apply to it which are modified in the Government Gazette by which it is created. So basically, there is framework for these committees is the State Municipal Act only. But when state government is establishing or notifying a gazette in which they are mentioning all the conditions and functions of this area committee, this notified area committee also be entrusted to exercise powers under the other act. Its powers are almost equivalent to those of municipality, but unlike the municipality, it is an entirely nominated body. That is, all the members of a notified area committee, including the chairman, are nominated by the state government. Thus, it is neither an elected body nor a statutory body. Now, understand the difference between municipality and notified area committee. Friends, all the members of notified area committee, including chairman, are nominated by the state government. Then, next type is town area committee. So, town area committee is set up for administration of a small town. It is a semi-municipal authority and is entrusted with a limited number of civic functions like drainage, roads, street lighting, and conservancy. So, town area committee is set up for the administration of small town. So, it is a semi-municipal authority and is entrusted with limited number of civic functions. It is created by a separate act of state legislature. So, its composition, function, and other matters are governed by the act. It may be wholly elected or wholly nominated by the state government or partly elected or partly nominated members in the town area committee. So, town area committee for the small town. Now, here is a provision by like the Rural Urban Relationship Committee established in 1963 and 66, which was headed by the AP Jain, and this committee, like the the Rural Urban Relation Committee, recommended that small town area committees should be merged with the Panchayati Raj institutions to avoid multiplicity in the pattern of local bodies. So just remember that a town area committees set up for the administration of a small town and it is a semi-municipal authority. Now after that, the important urban local body is Cantonment Board. I hope those who are residing in metro cities, in number of metro cities there are Cantonment Board. So Cantonment Board is established for municipal administration for civilian population in the cantonment area. So a cantonment area is delimited area where the military forces and troops are permanently stationed. So it is set up under the provisions of the Cantonments Act of 2006. So a legislation enacted by the central government. So this cantonment area works under the administrative control of the Defense Ministry of the central government. Thus, unlike the other four types of urban local bodies like municipal corporation, municipalities, and other two like town committees and area committees, which are created and administered by the state government, whereas a cantonment board is created as well as administered by the central government. The Cantonment Act of 2006 was enacted to consolidate and amend the law relating to the administration of cantonments with a view to impart greater democratization, yes, democratization, improvement of their financial base to make provisions for development activities and for matters connected with them. So the Cantonment Act of 2006 has repealed the Cantonment Act of 1924. So earlier, before 2006, there were Cantonment Act of 1924 is the framework for the administration in Cantonment Board. But in 2006, there are more amendments and provisions added to the Act. And the new Cantonment Act of 2006 was enacted. So, till 2019, there were 62 cantonment boards in our country. They are grouped into four categories on the basis of the civil population. Yes, for example, in city, these cantonment boards in some areas are, yes, which are categorized due to the civil population in that cantonment board area. So category 1, where the civil population is about 50,000. Category 2, where this civil population is between 10,000 to 50,000. Category 3 of cantonment board, where the population between 2,500 to 10,000. And category 4, where the civil population is less than 2,500. So these are the categories or classification of cantonment boards. Now, a cantonment board consists of partly elected or partly nominated members. The elected members hold office for a term of 5 years, while the nominated members, that is, ex officio members, continue so long they hold the office in that station. So the military officer commanding the station is the ex officio president of the board and presides over its meetings. The vice president of the board is elected by the elected members for among themselves for a term of 5 years. So category 1 cantonment boards, which consist of a military officer commanding the station, an executive engineer in the cantonment, a health officer in the cantonment, a first class magistrate nominated by the district magistrate, then 3 military officers nominated by the officer commanding the station, 8 members elected by the people of the cantonment area, chief executive officer of the cantonment board. So, category 1 cantonment board consisting of these members. Whereas the functions performed by a cantonment board are similar to those of municipality, and these are statutorily categorized into obligatory functions and discretionary functions. The sources of income includes both tax revenue and non-tax revenue, and the executive officer of the cantonment board is appointed by the President of India. Yes, the executive officer of the cantonment board is appointed by the President of India. He implements all the resolutions and decisions of the board and its committees. He belongs to the central cadre establishment. Yes, he belongs to the central cadre established for the purpose. Now, after cantonment board, next type is township. So, this type of urban government is established by the large public enterprises to provide civic amenities to its staff and workers who live in the housing colonies built near the plant. Yes, the township type of urban government is established by the large public enterprises to provide civic amenities to its staff and workers who live in the housing colonies built near the plant. The enterprise appoints a town administrator to look after the administration of the township. He is assisted by some engineers and other technical and non-technical staff. So the enterprise appoints a town administrator who is handling the administration of the township. He is assisted by some engineers and other technical and non-technical staff. Thus, the township form of government, urban government, has no elected members. In fact, it is an extension of the bureaucratic structure of the enterprises. So, as we know, there are number of public enterprises in various cities, and there the urban government type is township, which performing his duties as administration. Then next type is port trust. Yes. The port trusts are established in the port areas like Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai. So, and for two purposes, like to manage and protect the ports, and second to provide civic amenities. So, a port trust is created by an act of parliament. It consists of both elected and nominated members. Its chairman is an official. Yes, its civic functions are more or less similar to those of municipalities. And most of the port trust, the chairman of the port trust is the serving Indian Administrative Service officer. Then, special purpose agency. Next type is special purpose agency. So, in addition to the 7 area based urban bodies, the states have set up certain agencies to undertake designated activities or specific functions that legitimately belong to the domain of municipal corporation or municipalities or other local urban governments. In other words, these are function based or not area based, which means for the specific function is allocated to the special purpose agency. So they are known as single purpose, unipurpose, special purpose agencies or functional local bodies. So some such bodies like special purpose agencies like town improvement trusts, urban development authorities, water supply and sewage boards, housing boards, pollution control boards, electricity supply boards, city transport boards. So these functions or these functional local bodies are established as statutory bodies by an act of state legislature or as departments by an executive resolution. They function as autonomous bodies and deal with functions allotted to them independently of the local urban governments. So that is municipal corporations or municipalities and so forth. So thus, they are not subordinate agencies of the local municipal bodies. So they are doing work there independently for the function as a special purpose agency. Then, now after that, we'll see municipal personnel. Yes, municipal personnel. So there are three types of municipal personnel system in India, and the personnel working in the urban governments may belong to anyone or all the three types, like separate personal system. First is separate personal system. Under this system, each local body appoints, administers, and controls its own personnel. They are not transferable to other local bodies. It is the most widely prevalent system. The systems upholds the principle of local autonomy and promotes undivided loyalty. Yes, undivided. This system upholds the principle of local autonomy and promotes undivided loyalty. So, separate personal system where each local body appoints, administers, and controls its own personnel. They are not transferable to other local bodies. Then, second is unified personal system. So, in this system, the state government appoints, administers, and controls the municipal personnel. In other words, statewide services or cadres are created for the urban bodies in the state. They are transferable between the local bodies in the state. The system is prevalent in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. Yes, unified personal system. And third is integrated personal system. So, under this system, the personnel of the state government and those of the local bodies from part of the same service. So, the municipal personnel are the members of the state services. They are transferable not only between the local bodies in the state but also between local bodies and departments of state government. Thus, there is no distinction between local civil service and state civil service. So, the integrated personal system where the municipal personnel are the members of the state services. They are transferable not only between the local bodies in the state but also between the local bodies and departments of state government. So there is no distinction between local civil service and state civil service. This system is prevalent in Odisha, Bihar, Karnataka, Punjab, Haryana, and other states. So these are the three types of municipal personnel system, like separate personal system, unified personal system, integrated personal system. Now, we'll see the various national level institutions which providing training to the municipal personnel. Yes, to the municipal personnel are All India Institute of Local Self-Government, Mumbai, constituted in 1927, and it is a private registered society. All India Institute of Local Self-Government, which providing training to the municipal personnel. Then Center for Urban and Environmental Studies, New Delhi, set up in 1967 on the recommendation of Nuruddin Ahmed Committee on Training of Municipal Employees. Yes, the committee worked between 1960 to 1965. And third, regional centers for urban and environmental studies. Yes, regional centers for urban and environmental studies, Calcutta, Lucknow, Hyderabad and Mumbai. They set up in 1968 on the recommendation of Nuruddin Ahmed Committee. Yes. So, as per the committee on training of municipal employees, Nuruddin Ahmed Committee, which established in 1963 and worked till 1965, they recommended, and as per their recommendation, Center for Urban and Environmental Studies set up in New Delhi and regional centers for urban and environmental studies set up in Calcutta, Lucknow, Hyderabad and Mumbai. Then next national level institution providing training to the municipal personnel are National Institute of Urban Affairs, which established in 1976, and then Human Settlement Management Institute, established in 1985. So friends, these are the institutions providing training to the municipal personnel. Now, after that, we'll see the next heading is municipal revenue. As we have covered the evolution of municipalities, composition, and their powers and functions. Now, important part is revenue generation. So, there are 5 sources of income of the urban and local bodies. So, like first is tax revenue. So, the revenue from the local taxes including property tax, entertainment tax, taxes on advertisements, professional tax, water tax, tax on animal, lightning tax, pilgrim tax, market tax, toll on new bridges, octroi, and so on. So these are the types of taxes collected by the municipalities. And in addition to the municipal bodies, imposes various cesses. Yes, these cesses like library cess, education cess, bakery cess. So, friends, octroi has been abolished in most of the states. The octroi means the taxes on the entry of goods into a local area of consumption, use or sale there. Property tax is the most important tax revenue of the municipalities. Yes. Now, then non-tax revenue. This source include rent of municipal properties, fees and fines, royalty, profits, dividends, interest, user charges, and miscellaneous receipts. The user charges, that is payment for public utilities, which include water charges, sanitization charges, sewerage charges, and so on. That is the non-tax revenue. And then next source for the revenue is grants. These include the various grants given to municipal bodies by the central and state governments for several development programs like infrastructure schemes, urban reform initiatives, and other activities. Then devolution. This consists of the transfer of funds to the urban local bodies from the state government. This devolution is made on the basis of the recommendations of the State Finance Commission. Devolution. After that, fifth is the revenue source is loans. The urban local bodies raise loans from the state government as well as financial institutions to meet their capital expenditure. They can borrow from financial institutions or other bodies only with the approval of the state government. Yes, these are the five sources of income to the urban local bodies: tax revenue, non-tax revenue, grants, devolution, loans. Now, after that, we'll see Central Council of Local Government. Yes, friends. The Central Council of Local Government was set up in 1954. It was constituted under the Article 263 of the Constitution of India by an order of the President of India, and originally it was known as the Central Council of Local Self-Government. However, the term self-government was found to be superfluous and hence was replaced by the term government in the 1980s. So till 1958, it dealt with both urban as well as rural local governments. But after 1958, it has been dealing with matters of urban local government only. So the council is an advisory body which consists of the Minister of Urban Development in the Government of India and the Ministers for Local Self-Government in states. The Union Minister acts as the chairman of the council. So Central Council of the Local Government, which performs various functions like considering and recommending the policy matters, making proposals for legislation, examining the possibility of cooperation between the center and the states, drawing up a common program of action, recommending central finance assistance, reviewing the work done by the local bodies with the central finance assistance. Yes. So these are the functions of the council. Next. Now, we'll see name of urban local bodies in the states. So there are the structure of the urban local bodies in the state. We'll see state by state. Yes. Now, so after the Central Council of Local Government, and functions. Now we'll see name of the urban local bodies in the state. Like in Andhra Pradesh, urban local bodies like municipal corporations, municipalities, and nagar panchayats. In Arunachal Pradesh, urban local bodies do not exist. In Assam, municipal corporations, municipalities, and town panchayats. In Bihar, municipal corporations, municipal councils, and nagar panchayats. In Chhattisgarh, municipal corporations, municipalities, and town panchayats. In Goa, municipal corporations and municipal councils. In Gujarat, municipal corporations, municipalities, and notified area councils. In Haryana, municipal corporations, municipal councils, and municipal committees. In Himachal Pradesh, municipal corporations, municipal councils, and nagar panchayats. In Jharkhand, municipal corporations, municipalities or municipal councils, town panchayats or notified area councils. In Karnataka, municipal or city corporations, municipal or city councils or town panchayats. In Kerala, municipal corporations and municipalities. In Madhya Pradesh, municipal corporations, municipalities and nagar panchayats. In Maharashtra, municipal corporations, municipal councils and nagar panchayats. In Manipur, municipal councils, nagar panchayats. Meghalaya, municipalities as urban local bodies. In Mizoram also, municipalities. Nagaland, municipal councils and town councils. Odisha, municipal corporations, municipalities and notified area councils. Punjab, municipal corporations, municipalities and nagar panchayats. Sikkim, municipal corporations, municipal councils and nagar panchayats. Telangana, municipal corporations, municipalities and nagar panchayats. Then Tripura, municipal councils and nagar panchayats. In Uttar Pradesh, Nagar Nigam, Nagar Palika Parishad and nagar panchayats. In Uttarakhand, Nagar Nigam, Nagar Palika Parishad, nagar panchayats. In West Bengal, municipal corporations, municipalities and notified area authorities. So these are the urban local bodies in the all states. Now after that we'll see articles related to municipalities. Yes. So friends, article 243p, which describes about definitions. Article 243q, which deals with the constitution of municipalities. Article 243r, composition of municipalities. Article 243s, constitution and composition of ward committees. Article 243t deals with the reservation of seats. Article 243u, which deals with the duration of municipalities. Article 243v deals with the disqualification for membership. Article 243w deals with the powers, authority and responsibility of municipalities. Article 243x, the powers to impose taxes by and funds of the municipalities. Article 243y deals with the Finance Commission. Article 243z deals with the audit of accounts of municipalities. Article 243za, which deals with the elections to the municipalities. Article 243zb, which deals with the applications to union territories. Article 243 ZB deals with the application to union territories. Article 243 ZC deals with the part not to apply to certain areas. Article 243 ZD Committee for District Planning. Article 243 ZE Committee for Metropolitan Planning. Article 243 ZF Continuance of existing laws and municipalities. Article 243 ZG Bar to interference by courts in electoral matters. Yes. So friends, that's all about the municipalities. Just have recap what we have covered. Before that, friends, do not forget to subscribe our combo courses like GS and optional. We are providing huge discount till today midnight. So at least go with our combo subscriptions to boost up your preparation. Do not forget to join our new batches from today onwards. We are providing free test series for all aspirants. Those aspirants are planning to appear for this year for prelims. Just unlock this free test series using code RBI Live. We will cover your complete general studies and current affairs part. And those aspirants looking for a scholarship or assistance, they can either go with loan facility by Unacademy, or they can also join Unacademy Combat, where we will give you ranking, and according to these ranks you will get benefits. It's absolutely free to enroll yourself for the Unacademy Combat. Just you can use code RBI Live to enroll yourself. Then friends, we have covered the municipalities, where we have covered about the introduction and evolution of urban bodies, then committees and commissions, then constitutionalization. So in the PV Narasimha Rao's government, which introduced the Modified Municipalities Bill in the Lok Sabha in September 1991, and then this bill finally emerged as the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992 and came into force on 1st June 1993. So this bill was passed in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha in December 1992, and after that the bill was approved by the required number of state legislatures, and it was assented by the President in the April 1993. Then we have covered the 74th Amendment Act of 1992. Yes, all the features of this Amendment Act. So this act added Part 9A to the Constitution of India, the municipalities. So there are Articles 243P to 243ZG. So there are three types of municipalities: Nagar Panchayat, a municipal council, and a municipal corporation. Then we studied about composition, ward committees, other committees, then reservation of seats, then duration of municipalities. So normally the act provides for a 5-year term of office for every municipality. Now, then we have covered disqualifications. State Election Commission. So the superintendent's direction and control of the preparation of electoral rolls and the conduct of all elections to the municipalities shall be vested in the State Election Commission, and the state legislature may make provision with respect to all matters relating to elections to the municipalities. Then we have covered parts and functions. So the municipality is basically doing preparation for plans for economic development and social justice, and the implementation of schemes for economic development and social justice. Then finances we have covered. Finance Commission, audit of accounts. So the state legislature may make provisions with respect to maintenance of accounts by municipalities and the auditing of such accounts. Then we have covered exempted areas. District Planning Committee, Metropolitan Planning Committee, then continuance of existing laws and municipalities, bar to interference by courts in electoral matters. 12th schedule, areas like urban planning, including town planning, regulation of land use and construction buildings, planning for economic and social development, roads and bridges, water supply for domestic, industrial and commercial purposes, public health, sanitization, conservancy and solid waste management, then fire services, urban forestry, protection of the environment and promotion of ecological aspects, then safeguarding the interests of weaker sections of society, including the handicapped and mentally retarded, slum improvement and upgradation, urban poverty alleviation, provision of urban amenities and facilities such as parks, gardens, playgrounds, promotion of cultural, educational and artistic aspects, then burial grounds, cremations and cremation grounds, and electric crematoriums, cattle ponds, and prevention of cruelty to animals. So the yes, vital statistics including registration of births and deaths, public amenities including street lighting, parking lots, bus stops, and public conveyances, and regulation of slaughterhouses and tanneries. So these are the functional areas placed within the purview of municipalities under the 12th schedule. Then we have covered the types of urban bodies: municipal corporation for big cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Hyderabad, Bangalore. Then municipalities for towns and smaller cities. Then notified areas committee. Yes, notified area committee for the developing town due to industrialization act, a town which does not yet fulfill the conditions necessary for the constitution of a municipality. Then town area committee, cantonment board. So cantonment area is a delimited area where the military forces and troops are permanently stationed. Then we have covered the classification of cantonment boards as per the civil population, like category 1, 2, 3, 4. Then township, port trust, and special purpose agents. Then municipal personnel. So there are three types, like separate personnel system, unified personnel system, and integrated personnel system. Then we have covered national level institutions providing training to the municipal personnels, and the five sources of income to the urban local bodies: tax revenue, non-tax revenue, grants, devolution, and loans. Then we have discussed Central Council of Local Government and functions, and then the urban local body structure in all states and the articles related to municipalities. So friends, that's all about related to municipalities. Now in the next session, we'll start with the new topic of polity. Till the time, keep revising, keep studying, and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe Unacademy videos. So friends, keep studying, keep revising. All the best. Stay home, stay safe. Take care. Thank you.